where are we as a culture in regards to this? I mean, I think one place you said one in 5 Americans is on an antidepressant.
That's right.
What?
20% of Americans now on antidepressants. That's right.
How can that be? How can that be?
Yeah, I know. They're just.
It must just be general practitioners, because there's not that many psychiatrists.
That's a key point. I was with a lawyer at that event in Charlotte with David Carmichael, and he said that the stats are that 2/3 of these antidepressants are prescribed by general practitioners, your personal physician, and only 1/3 by psychiatrists. Yeah. And the problem is, so many of those doctors have not been properly sort of educated about some of these, the side effects. I was. This is interesting. I was on a live radio show on Sirius FM.
XM.
Yeah, exactly. It was a doctor, a NYU trained young doctor was the host, and so I got through everything fine. Toward the end, running out of time, and I thought I needed to share this, and I said, what people out there need to know is that depression, all the scientific evidence is now that depression is not caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain. Yeah. That is a myth that was concocted by the drug companies. And that's when, and I also said, mountains of evidence suggest that SSRI antidepressants are no more effective at ameliorating the symptoms of depression than a sugar pill. Well, my publicist got an email from the producer and said he was going along just fine until he said that depression is not caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain. Where did he get that from? And I told my publicist, I wish I had said, just Google 3 words, depression, chemical imbalance, and you wouldn't believe how many articles come up debunking that.
Yeah.
It's much more complex. So
it's on page 206 and 207 in your book. One of my questions for you was, is depression really a serotonin imbalance or not?
Yeah, exactly.
And this looked like a bombshell revelation to you.
Yeah, exactly.
And as somebody who has dealt with depression and kind of worked through that yourself,
right?
So you can get into that if you'd like. But
yeah.
What the hell is depression if it's not this? Because that's what we've all been told.
Right.
And in the pharmaceutical, look,
yeah.
I'm not a doctor, but the pharmaceutical company who's making billions off of this,
that's right,
with 20% of Americans, they're not going to volunteer the answer.
That's right. It's exactly. And it's important to note, I cite a 2022 study in the UK where they surveyed consumers in the UK, and I think it's been done here in the US too. And 80% of typical consumers think they know that depression is caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain. And it's because the pharmaceutical companies spent billions promoting that theory. So
because if it is a chemical imbalance,
right,
they can give you a pill that has that chemical.
That's right. Exactly.
That's why.
Exactly.
If you're out of gas, we can give you more gas.
That's right.
It's just that simple.
Right.
And you also don't have to do the other things to overcome the problem.
Right. That's right.
It's a
quick fix.
It's a quick fix.
That's right.
The happy pill.
Yeah. In my chapter called "A History of Antidepressants," the first part of it is how well received all of these SSRI antidepressants were, how they, there's all these articles about what miracles they were all working, et cetera. And then it kind of like the high water mark of all of that enthusiasm for this. In an article, I discovered that 2 people kind of just went over the top about what this proved about the human brain. And One of them was David Satcher, the U.S. Surgeon General at the time, who declared in 1999, quote, "The bases of mental illness are chemical changes in the brain. There's no longer any justification for the distinction between mind and body or mental and physical illnesses. Mental illnesses are physical illnesses." Nobel laureate Francis Crick put it more directly, quote, "You, unquote, your joys and your sorrows, your memories and your ambitions, your sense of personal identity and free will are in fact no more than the behavior of a vast assembly of nerve cells and their associated molecules. As Lewis Carroll's Alice might have phrased it, you're nothing but a pack of neurons." So what that is, it's incredible hubris, it's scientism, and it also is basically the philosophy, if it can be called that, of materialism. So what is the definition of materialism? This is from the American Psychiatric Association Dictionary of Psychology. Materialism is the philosophical position that everything, including mental events, is composed of physical matter and is thus subject to the laws of physics. From this perspective, the mind is considered to exist solely as a set of brain processes. Encyclopedia Britannica defines materialism as such. The theory denies that immaterial or apparently immaterial things, such as minds, exist, or else explains them away as being material things or motions of material things.
So here we had the Surgeon General in 1999.
Yeah.
Who was president in 99? That would have been, was it Bush or Clinton?
Clinton, maybe.
It was probably the end of Clinton, I think.
Yeah.
But you have the Surgeon General saying that you're nothing but a clump of neurons.
That's right. That's right. And I think that is a prevailing phenomenon in psychiatry. I think what a lot of these psychiatrists adhere to is something that could be called Freudian materialism. And I have a proposed afterword that I hope I can work into the second edition of this book. And it talks about Freudian materialism. And my modest proposal is to end biological psychiatry by 2040. And so it starts. If I were king of the world, and we should all think our lucky stars that I am not, I would issue this urgent communique. I hereby decree that biological psychiatry, which is basically based on materialism, has proven itself to be morally, spiritually, and scientifically bankrupt, that psychiatrists, physicians, and more important, patients must reject biological psychiatry and all its empty promises, and that the practice of biopsychiatry must therefore end by no later than the year 2040. Why? Because the foundation upon which biological psychiatry is built is a reductive and soulless concept of the human person.
Hey, thanks guys for checking out the Conor Gallagher Show. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, or comment, or whatever you got to do to support it. And I appreciate that very much.